Hi, I would like to send my greetings from Greece. My name is Nikos Kosmidis. I'm a graphic designer. I have done a master in theology. My bachelor is in European civilization studies, and right now I'm doing my PhD on architectural elements of memory, on commemorating people from the First and the Second World War with an ecumenical aspect as well. And previously I have been involved in the ecumenical movement. I was a commissioner, a youth commissioner in the World Council of Churches, and I joined the Assembly and Worship Committee of CEC for the previous assembly. Firstly, I want to thank you for providing me this opportunity to get involved in the life of CEC once more with the design of the logo. Well, designing a logo is a quite interesting process because unless you're not familiar with the identity of a company or a foundation or institution, it's very difficult to visualize it. But thankfully, because of my involvement in the ecumenical movement, it was possible to immediately come to an understanding about the elements that I was supposed to use. Definitely, I had the help and direction from CEC staff members, but led me in order to be able to understand the concept and what was needed. But of course, as an artist, I was also able to present my own, not ideas, but perception, I would say, or what I feel that it's important to be said again once more in Europe, especially right now in this troubling situation, about the offering that the ecumenical movement has to give to the reality in Europe, the history and all these positive elements that indeed the ecumenical movement has played in order to receive or to live in a community that embraces the ideals of unity, of brotherhood, sisterhood, of reconciliation, and joining efforts together. So all these ideas were around my head when I had to come with a concrete design, because a logo is not a manifesto, a logo is not a philosophical document, but it can speak and say a lot of things. And the things I wanted to say and present through this logo was all these elements: the element of unity, the element of the prayerful life in the ecumenical movement, that CEC is not just an institution like all the other European institutions in Brussels or around in Europe, but it's a communion of churches. It's a body that brings together divided Christians who seek unity, a common language, a common approach to the problems that we have in Europe, and common service and martyria, diaconia, all these big words that we often speak about in the ecumenical movement, but actually these are part of our reality. This is what we are doing. So it's not big words, it's actually our own identity through the decades and almost a century of ecumenical presence and dialogue. So the element of the logos that you can see, and probably you can already discover or identify as you see the logo. First of all, it's the colors, the modernity, and the multicolors identity of the logo. You have their artistic elements that actually have been used from my side. And by this, I mean the small paintings in manuscripts, in Armenian and Byzantine manuscripts that use a lot of bright colors. And then you have the stained glasses in the Gothic cathedrals in the West. So I've tried firstly to bring artistic elements from the churches that actually could create and form the Conference of European Churches from the East and the West and the East. The use of the many colors also refers to the story of Noah and the reconciliation that God had with humanity. The rainbow, the symbol of peace, of reconciliation, of calmness, of embracing each other. So it may look quite modern, but actually it's very, not old, but I would say very much rooted in the Christian Judaistic tradition and the background of all churches. And I would say it's a common element, the story of Noah, not just for Christians, but also for our Jewish and our Muslim brothers and friends in dialogue. This story of reconciliation and of peace, which is very much needed. When actually I was designing the logo, we didn't have experienced yet these troubles that we do right now. So somehow it fit very well that the logo will speak the language of peace, peace among humans, peace between God and humanity, peace among churches, peace among nations, among communities. And the logo, in my understanding, speaks a lot about this peaceful element that firstly we want to serve. Beyond that, there are other parts as well that maybe you would like me to discuss right now, or we can discover them through the discussion. When we discussed about the logo, there was the first issue that was raised: shall we use the ecumenical boat? Is the ecumenical arc still a symbol that we want to incorporate in the logo as it has been done in the past? Or should we move totally to a new direction? We decided that the symbol of the boat, it's very important for the ecumenical movement. It's the mark. When someone thinks of the visual identity of the ecumenical movement, immediately the boat or the ark is the symbol that comes in our mind. But we decided that since times are changing and new expressions of design are coming forward, we wanted to have it in a more modern style, and not just stick with the boat as the only symbol. So about the colors I spoke before. Now, if we analyze a little bit further the logo, the different elements, because even the colors have their own specific meaning. For example, you see that in the shape of the boat is marked with the blue-greenish color. A part of giving obviously the sign of sea, the waves that we have to overcome, all this journey, this common journey, the water has a very strong theological meaning in the church, all churches, baptism. And by selecting the color, I'm referring also to the common baptism that Christians share, and that we have spoke a lot about it in previous decades in the ecumenical movement. And thankfully, we are in a position to say that we recognize each other baptisms. This is about the blue side of the logo. Now, the more warm color, the more yellow and orange and the magenta and red. There we have another element, which I mentioned before. It's the prayer. It's the a reminding of actually of our separation in the participation of the same Eucharistic experience. The fact, I wanted to be honest, that the logo also will not just say what we have achieved, but also what we want to achieve and what is the goal, to be prophetic in that way, let's say. And as Christians always mention, the end and the beginning and the end of the ecumenical movement is finally one day, God knows when we will achieve the participation in the common Eucharistic experience, in the common Lord's Supper. So if you see, you can identify the shape of a cup that is used for the sacrament of the Eucharist. And of course, in the midst, you have the cross, because all this process is a process of martyrdom. It may be sometimes consciously or unconsciously. Definitely, it's a process that leads us to fight our collective temptations, and by that I would mean our neglecting the goal of unity, embracing and accepting the division. So it is sacrifices that we have to make, and in order to achieve this this step of joining together. So we do share the same baptism, but still we are lacking. Not all churches are sharing communion, and this is known. This is not a secret. This is often a troubling situation in our counter. Of course, we have come to an understanding how to deal with that, but yet who can say that remains indifferent and without sorrow when he or she is not able to participate to the Eucharistic experience of another church. But through the cross, through this common suffering, this common struggle that we have, we believe by God's grace, and because unity is always a gift of the Holy Spirit, we will reach one day the fullness of unity. So it is a process, and this is why the line of the logo is connected. Different colors, different elements, different aspects. Yet it is one journey. It's not separated. It is one journey that we have to follow in order to reach the end of this story, the story of God's incarnation and the presence of the church in human history. The main references. Firstly, it is biblical because it takes roots to the biblical foundation that we all share, the faith that is presented in the stories that is presented in the Bible. Secondly, it's rooted also in church history because it recognizes the suffering in our church history, the division, but it also recognizes the beautiful elements like all these beautiful religious artistic expressions of Christianity from the East and the West. So in my mind, I wouldn't say that it happened immediately or spontaneously that I came with all these stories. Some of the stories came when as I was designing the logo, you know, I could see more elements. Of course, all this is because I had my own experience in the ecumenical movement, and that was for me a blessing, being able to visually express all these ideas and feelings and disappointments and disagreements and wishes, all these things that combine the joint journey that Christians take in order to fulfill the call that we all may be one. Whether I have managed to do that through the logo or not, it's up now to the respected members of the Assembly Planning Committee to decide. But nevertheless, for me, well, you see my smile. For me, it was really a very happy process, especially as we are struggling right now with so many issues, and we need signs of hope. We need symbols that will bring us back to the right way and lead us forward. If you will agree with me that this logo can serve humbly this purpose, I would be very much happy and blessed for that. I'm wishing all the best for the upcoming meeting. Unfortunately, because of military service, I will not be able to join you at this time, but perhaps I will be able to do that on a later step. Nevertheless, I'm always open to receive inputs and further directions and see how we can finalize this symbol that will mark the assembly, but also will follow for the next years the life of the Conference of European Churches. Thank you very much for the opportunity.